Welcome to Redline. This is Redline Radio. We would like to start with a Miller Lite ad read. Ed.
An astute point about Miller Lite.
Well, let's get into it.
What's with you and the astute right now?
Well, he wants to make one.
I'm using it correctly. So I hope I use it correctly.
So
Now,
far you are.
Did you guys see the hat Luke Combs was wearing?
It's high fashion.
You got to Google it.
Okay.
Look up his performance at the Daytona 500 and look up the Miller Lite hat that he was wearing. It took every fiber of my being not to be like, can we have that? And I know he works with Miller Lite. If you guys could send the boys some hats, we would love these. But it looked like it might have been vintage. The hat was unbelievable. So that was my point.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
I have an iteration of this. It's slightly different, and Feidelberg gave it to me.
Really?
Yes.
It's so sick. But that was my point. It was a nice merch drop by Miller Lite, so I wanted to bring it to the forefront because, like I said, we talk about Miller Lite at the top of the show, and we love Miller Lite.
And we do. And Luke Combs is a great ambassador, just as Barstool Chicago is. The Daytona 500. The beers are flowing, guys, and that's because it is the best beer. And I can't. I mean, I don't know. What do I have to say after this long? Like how many times do I have to recommend great tasting, less filling, 96 calorie, delicious Miller Lite?
Cannot beat it.
Yeah.
You ever look around, see your friends after the first sip, and be like, "This was the right call"?
Yeah.
You know what I decided?
What's that?
For opening day, whenever that is, for the Sox home opener, I should say, I'm going to do a little White Sox fan gathering at my new place and have a Miller Lite keg.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna host people from the internet in your home?
DMs only.
No, not random people. I'm hosting friends, and you
am I invited?
Billy Ray Phil's
are not
gonna
even.
chug out of his.
Yes, Billy is invited.
He's chugging out of his prosthetic.
He will. Well, we'll probably save that for the parking lot.
How about let's finish the Miller Lite thing before we get to your party? Great tasting, less filling.
No, that's what
calories.
I was going to do. I'm going to be smoking meat. I'm going to be basting it in Miller Lite. I'm going to be drinking Miller Lite. I'm going to head to the parking lot and consume Miller Lite out of cans. That beautiful, beautiful like eggshell white can, that vintage can. That was their original can from 1975. So Miller Lite it's almost Miller Lite season. We're wearing the St. Patrick's Day merch.
It is Miller Lite season.
It's never not Miller Lite.
It's never not, but summertime Chicago, that's when Miller Lites just hit a little different.
There is a little. We could smell it in the air like a few days ago.
Oh, you could. It was.
Yeah.
I forgot to send that tweet. I was about to say it smells like springtime and Miller Lite season.
Yeah, there is something special about like that. The Miller Lite, when you have their first really hot day, you take the can still closed. It's ice cold. You just put it on your neck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love that. Love that.
Great taste for good times. I like the ad copy. It says, describe the ideal winter setting. Eddie just got back from Daytona 500. We're talking about springtime. It's like we said, it's the perfect beer year-round. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/redline to find delivery options near you. That's MillerLite.com/redline to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time.
Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
I am excited to record this show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
Eddie.
This is Redline Radio and All Gas, No Break Chicago Sports Podcast brought to you by Barstool Sports Chicago and our good friends at Miller Lite. We alluded to it in the ad read. No, not the White Sox Dave Kegger. Eddie, you were at Daytona 500. A battle of the parties. Welcome back. The skin looks wonderful, and I have to commend you. I thought your Dave Portnoy show interview from Tuesday was wonderful. It was right out of Daytona, back into the hard-hitting journalism.
Pretty fascinating, huh?
Yeah,
I thought so.
So.
You didn't listen, I assume?
No, absolutely not. I got a question for you. If you got all the, I'm not talking to you. Why are you saying, huh?
I wasn't making eye contact with you.
Well, Eddie came out yesterday. It was like, you should listen to that.
You made a hand gesture.
And Dave was in the room, too.
You told White Sox that you should listen
I'm
to that.
busy right now, okay?
He's
I
watching
got shit
Sandlot
to do.
on MLB Net for the 8th time this month.
No, I'm
busy.
boycotting that until the
Real
4th of
busy.
July.
He was on the phone with insurance when he came in today.
If you want to see how long I was on for?
Not particularly, but
About an hour. I was just on hold for an hour.
Now I want to see exactly how long.
We can look.
About an hour, probably like 36 minutes.
No, it was...
What music were they playing?
That same fucking...
Meatloaf. I will do.
You know what's worse than the
53
music?
minutes.
It's not bad.
What's worse is the music is when they repeat their fucking menu items every
Oh, that's the worst
That's
part by
the
far.
worst,
Oh,
yeah.
we'll be right back with you.
Yes.
Just stay and hold a little
Stop
longer.
repeating the menu options.
We fucking get it.
Is there
We
anybody
fucking
who's
get it.
better off because the lady comes in, she's like, "You are a valued customer." It's like,
That-
oh, thank you.
yes.
Thank you for
That-
that.
Who
Thank you.
is?
Shut the fuck up, you
Have you
bitch.
ever been on hold with one that's like, "We'll call you back"?
I like that.
Those are those are great.
I feel like I don't trust.
Do
them.
you like Comcast? Can we do a quick roundtable on Comcast?
I like
Well, the product of Comcast. I'm talking like
the customer service.
yeah.
I would say that I have had less issues dealing with Comcast than most people, is what it seems like.
So this whole moving process has been just a fucking pain in the balls. And I just switched my address on Comcast, and it was the easiest thing I've had to do. And I want to give a quick hat tip to Comcast, because I usually bitch about them and rag them and talk about how they're fucking Satan.
They've turned a corner.
Spawn.
White Sox,
with
Dave.
you
They
at
did it-
least. With you at least.
Well,
That's an integrity move right there.
yeah.
Dave.
I just
Yeah.
had I mean, if I'm gonna shit on them, I gotta give them their due when they perform.
No,
well.
you got to shit on the person who fucked you. Get that out there
Who?
because that's a shitty move. The moving.
Oh, I don't even want to fucking. Long story short, so I sent out the bat signal on Twitter asking for Rex on a moving company. Dante ended up coming through in the clutch. I got it taken care of, but people DM'd me saying, yeah, like I got a moving company. Like we want to do it for free. All we want is like to have the moving truck and stool scenes and like Twitter love. And I'm like, you guys are like 200 miles away. I don't think it would be worth it for you. I mean, if you want, sure, but and they asked me like a couple different times. They're like, yeah, we want to do it. We want to do it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's lock it up. I'll make sure I tip the drivers and everything. Just like, let me know. Started ghosting me. So I get on the phone with like 2 men in a truck and all the standard movers that everybody knows, and they're already all booked because I'm trying to book it 4 or 5 days before the move.
Some guy on social media reached out to you, and you agreed, and he agreed. Then he took it to the owner of the business, probably his uncle or his dad, was like, "Yeah, I set something up.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna
then
get
they
some
look at,
online."
like,
He's
gas
like, "You are
costs.
driving that fucking truck."
Yeah.
And he can't get back to you. So
So I hope that is the case, and in that case, like I've been there with my old man many times, and so if that's the case, then
No.
But
But-
if that's the case, because like it's hard to get movers last minute.
it is.
All right. So if that's the case, the guy should be like, "Hey man, I got vetoed. Like I'm sorry."
That's it.
Right.
Has your mouth
Yeah.
ever written a check that your ass can't cash, Dave?
No.
isn't that what I think Portnoy yelled that at him in
Yeah.
like the first week on the job or
Which
something.
is such a great saying.
Oh, you do? No. What? Say it again.
Dave writes checks with his mouth that his ass can't cash. Forgot what that was about.
That was about the statue.
Probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That seems like so long ago now.
It
was.
I know.
Now
years.
I'm systematically taking over the world, blog and tweet and podcast at a time.
And you're so busy you can't follow up on Eddie's sincere
I
suggestion to watch
deal
the
with
show.
you guys.
He goes, "This will be very good. You guys
I
should
do
listen to this."
I do my skim
No,
usually
Dave-
a couple days after
His skim.
the
What does that
episode
mean?
comes out. Like I don't need to fucking hear what's going on at Barstool. I don't give a shit. I will give a skim, and if something catches my attention, just like anything else, I'll be like, "Oh, I'll
Why
listen
did
to
you
this
laugh
part.
at that, Tom?
That Dave doesn't give a shit of what's going on at the company he works for.
I don't want to
Does
hear
it dir-
Portnoy.
Does it directly affect him, would you say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say so.
Gotcha.
How does
Interesting.
Portnoy getting them like yelling at the mean girls or whatever affect me in any way?
Well, that's
That-
not what
I
Eddie
don't-
told you to
that's
watch.
not-
nothing to do
Eddie
with
didn't
that.
come out and say,
That-
"Make sure you go
that's-
watch Mean Girls."
I-
in
I-
fact, Eddie did not suggest that we watch Mean Girl episode. He suggested we watch yesterday's
I
episode.
will get to watching this episode that he recommended eventually.
What's wrong now?
That's a great.
Well, I got a text from Dave the other day about something that was covered about something that affects all of us in the company, about our 401k plan that was gone over. Tom cheered when they made this announcement, and Dave was like, "Hey, did they change this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." That was a big point when we were sitting around watching the year-end meeting from Erica talking that you had no idea about. So it's I don't care about what goes on in our company. Well, it's no shit.
Well, it'll get to me when it gets to me.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't care what
I
goes
was
on. It's
I
just
was
like,
looking forward to your reaction to the conversation and you going back and forth with Eddie about it, because Eddie did a great job interviewing Dave on the topics.
Okay, and I'll get to that.
It was largely about what it takes to be successful at Barstool. I thought was
What
very
was the
interesting.
term you used? What was your second tier? Your first tier
Carnival.
was like if you work hard. I can't remember.
The carnival characters
Yeah.
was number 2.
You didn't.
Did you? I mean, I would say that was pretty fucking spot on.
So back up, Eddie said to Dave they were talking about content working. It was
Yeah.
by far one of the more fascinating. It was a very fascinating segment of Inside Barstool where Portnoy talks about running the company, and they were talking about content, career paths and stuff. And Eddie had made the point: there's 3 categories of people.
I think we've all
succeed at
spoken
Barstool.
about this plenty of times in the last 3 years, anyways.
What?
I got shit on. I think
What
it
was
was
that
when we were
face
on
ad?
radio.
I'm waiting here.
Because I forget what the exact context of the conversation was, but there was a part where I'm like, Portnoy doesn't really care if you make money, and I use KB as an example, and I was like, if you're funny, Portnoy will let you just spread your wings and fly. And people took that as me like making a dig at KB, and I think KB and Rediscovered America make the company lots of money, aside from the yak and everything else he does. But like he was because he doesn't have like his own podcast or anything aside from Anus now, which I'm sure is doing well. I don't think it was a thing back then, but that's one of the tiers you're getting at, right? I'm sure that was discussed.
Why don't you just tell him the
Yeah, I mean, we
tiers?
were in the middle of telling you.
Yep.
You just made an
But
assumption.
I think I
he was in
probably
the
already
middle
know
of
them.
telling you what they.
I think I probably already know them. You said carnival characters.
That was the second one.
Okay. Someone, like a big cat. That's
What are they, Ed?
The first one was you have to either make money with the company or bring in good ratings, good views. Second was be a carnival character that Dave likes to laugh with or at your choosing, however you want to look at it that way. And the third one is you got to work hard.
we talked about this anyways. So I already know the context behind everything. We
All
talked
right.
about this in the other podcast.
I have a question though.
So would you say then, based on that Eddie telling you yesterday, recommending to watch the show, is a faulty recommendation?
No, not at all. I'll get around to watching it.
Is there a 4th category called the romper room?
The romper room is the
Carnival?
well,
The
not,
carnival,
not
think
the
so.
romper room lives within the carnival category, I believe.
Yeah,
They're their own tent and under.
It's like a subcategory.
Okay.
It's like
romper's kind of dead though,
how so?
because I don't think like Emrag took it over as like serious gaming, and I think the romper room is.
I think the romper room is not about gaming.
Yes, it is.
It was.
I think
for
the
a
romper
while.
room can be any room.
Yeah, I think the romper room is just like almost like a lifetime achievement. Like there are just people who are like, you've been here so long, you're just here.
Oh, okay.
You know,
All right, yeah.
it doesn't matter necessarily what they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yes. Okay.
You know?
Barstool should give out
Yes.
one
That is-
lifetime achievement award a year. We're at the point,
That'd be funny.
but not like I don't want it to go to like.
Who would it go to? Who would be the
It can't be like,
winner?
KFC, you've been here forever. Like, bring back Manzo. Let's really get some fucking cast of characters going.
Neil,
the first J-Mac?
did he have any digs at that fucking moron, dipshit, loser? I just stole that from Thurman Merman Smitty.
He did.
He did.
That was the clip today.
Oh, was it? I didn't even see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I know you didn't.
Does he? Is that
I
serious?
wouldn't have thought you would have seen
Is
it.
that
I was
serious?
blogging all morning. Sorry.
It's got to be such a bit, right?
What? You
When
were
he's like,
you're
"I hate
blogging on
Smitty."
what'd you blog?
Well, yeah. Do you,
Today is the anniversary of us hoisting the flag. I say us. I wasn't anywhere near it at Iwo Jima in the Pacific.
America.
I blogged that. Us as in Americans, I'm getting at. And then I just blogged. I don't know why the video makes me laugh, but it's a little ninja dude who's swinging samurai swords at like a pitching machine. He's just dicing up all these baseballs.
Ah.
it's a good video.
It's pretty funny. It's
Yeah.
like a 10-second video. He's just like sitting there like getting all geeked up, and then he's just. Ha!
That's
And
actually
it's
intriguing.
just, yeah. See.
Boy.
Yeah. But anyways, about Smitty, do you think it's a bit?
I can't
think it is.
tell. I think it is, but it's just relentless commitment. It comes out of nowhere where you're like you didn't ask him about Smitty. He brought Smitty up. It's like, except for Smitty.
I think for him, like with Smitty, I think he likes to know that he could just take the mound and just throw fucking 101 four-seamers right at his ribs and not have to worry about him being like mad at all about it. You know, there's something about that.
But
you know?
who sent that package with like? Was that TJ who sent the package with the Michigan? And Portnoy sitting there. He's like, all right, if I hated TJ at 10, now it's a 3. Who's a 3? Who do I hate? And he's thinking, he's like, I hate him about as much as I hate Smitty. And it just cuts, and I'm like, yes. Because I definitely know Smitty the best out of the 4 of us.
Yes.
And I like anytime I see one of those little just digs right at his rib cage, I just laugh my ass off. I love him.
Was Smitty in Daytona?
No.
No. Smitty's one of those things where Dave says, if you don't like him, you know, like he could cure cancer and you still won't, he'll figure out why he didn't do it sooner. But if you do like him, like he could, you know, knock down a building and you could still like defend him. That applies to Smitty and Dave. Like Smitty could cure cancer, and I don't think Dave would be like, you know, like I can't, you know, they would just dismiss it.
He'd be like, it's not a rare form of cancer.
Yeah.
Exactly. That one's, they've been waiting to authorize that forever.
Correct.
You were saying though, I don't know if it was an argument about how many. And I'm fascinated. I keep going back. I'm fascinated with your experience at Daytona because it's like Ed goes to Daytona, right? Like this is just this should be its own. You going to large scale non-traditional sporting events like you did the rodeo before. I would like to see you go to like the United States track and field championships or something in like Atlanta on a random, you know, May Sunday.
Dude, I like strongly suggest people go to stuff like this because it's just so outside your zone.
Yeah.
You know, like it just like no one is used to it. And I was saying this on Dog Walk. It's like, dude, there's so much history behind this stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, with Dale and Richard Petty and all, like there's so much behind it where it's like, you know, like, dude, a large sector of America. This is a fucking big ass deal.
It was the biggest spectator sport in the world for the country for a hot minute.
But it's just so over our heads, right? Like collectively, the 4 of us.
Yeah, because we don't like we never experienced it, and we don't have like a, you know, you don't.
We're not in the culture. It's like what I said when we had Sydney on it. I feel like I need to do a study abroad in America, like just go to these different places that
it's a melting pot.
Yeah, that I just, there's so much going on in this country that I'm just like, what? Like Rediscovering America gives you a little taste of that. Like I'd like to like do like weird shit that people in America do every day. And I feel like NASCAR is like at the top of the list for things that I would never experience necessarily in my own country.
For sure.
Yeah.
They also rumor that we're the boys here that we might be going to the Miami one, which would be sweet.
When, do you have a date on that?
October.
Oh.
Rumor, I don't know.
So we have time to get cool enough to be in Miami for a weekend in October. That's like fucking real cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's not Miami in July with people saving some money on like a summer vacation.
Yeah.
That's like the heavy hitters. Something came up at Daytona too I thought was interesting. MJ almost won, and he was going to stick around. He was at the All-Star game or something. I thought Eddie had like an inside beat on this story.
Yeah, so he was at Daytona, and he owns a racing company. And he has 2 drivers, I believe. He may have more, so don't quote me. And one of them is Bubba Wallace. And he like he took second in less than a second. And so a lot of people don't know. It's like MJ probably is not at that All-Star game if Bubba Wallace wins.
Did anybody get like annoyed that MJ was at this game and not at the Chicago one?
Yes.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that was my first thought.
Yeah.
Was like that he went there and he didn't come to the one here. That hurt. I'll be honest.
Was it just because it was like the 75th?
I think so.
Yeah. So that juices it up a little bit.
Yeah, but dude, it's fucking
I know.
here.
I know. I'm just trying to defend him because he's MJ, but yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
It hurt. It really did.
Did it hurt, or are you just like thinking about him like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up, and then you stop thinking about it?
Maybe is it because he's an owner now and it's like
Dude, it hurt. I don't have much interest at all in the All-Star game or All-Star weekend in general for that matter. And I watched every second of the Chicago one, obviously, because it was here. And because you heard about, he's doing a party here. He's doing that. I'm like, he's in town. Like, this can be great. Like, you know, you've seen that video from when he was with the Wizards and he came back. It's such a classic video.
Yep.
I was like, you want to see the ovation he's going to get. And it just kept waiting. He kept waiting, and then it just never came.
Did you guys think he was going to take Magic one-on-one? Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
He like
He looked very trim.
Right?
Jordan looked like he's in way too good. What is he? 62 now, something like that.
I don't
59.
think he's 59. Yeah, it was his birthday the other day, right?
I remember when he turned 50 because
Yeah.
the fucking guy who does the 10 to 20,000 word pieces for ESPN, that's just incredible. He writes like once a year. Do you know what I'm talking about? He did some amazing.
Okay.
It's like one of the best pieces of sports journalism. I think it's.
Is it the
this
same guy
from-
who does the college football stuff? You know who I'm talking about?
I'm gonna pull his name up.
Okay.
But it was a super long form on MJ's 50th, and I
Yeah.
remember when it came out, people were like, "Did you read the MJ 50th story?" And it was like the best. I don't know. It was like a day. It was an amazing day.
And what magazine did you say it was?
I thought it was it Grantland, Ringer, or ESPN? Or
Probably
whatever?
Grantland. Grantland was fucking amazing, man.
I used to love ESPN the magazine too.
I had that, and then the old like page 2. Bill
Yeah.
Simmons was
Dude, it was
yeah.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Those sort of fucking sites aren't around
Wright
anymore.
Thompson.
That is
Yeah.
the college football. He's
Okay.
like a million.
It is,
He
yeah.
wears.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God,
yeah,
is this
yeah,
guy
yeah.
good?
Yeah.
He's so good. But yeah, it's like
He's got a great narrator voice too.
because
Like
he probably does like
great. He's
30
done
for
like
30
yes,
stuff.
exactly. Yeah.
But
He always wears like a fedora, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. This is the guy. But like an all-time Southern kind of, get the gravel in his voice. Love Wright Thompson.
So I measure
Narrator.
I know MJ's age based on that piece of journalism.
Okay.
Because it was like all about him turning 50 and being like, you wouldn't believe this guy turned fucking 50. But in any event,
But
Wow,
yeah, he
he's
looks like he could
59.
kick Magic's ass or just about anybody else.
and then did you see him like the way he embraced Rodman? Part of me
Pat
was
his
like,
tummy.
part of me was like, yeah, he's sending a message to Scotty right now. Like he couldn't help himself.
I wonder what their relationship's like.
I wonder why you think it's gotten toxic since the doc.
Well, he wrote that. And he wrote that book.
Yeah,
Scotty wrote that book.
I know, but I wonder if they have a side piece being like, "Hey, man, like,
Like,
No
yeah,
way.
I gotta
No
sell
way.
books."
I'm just trying to make a couple bucks.
Yeah,
No way.
no chance.
No way.
But I don't know. I think Jordan's very comfortable with who he is and how
Yeah.
he treated people because he knew at the end, hey, you could disagree with my approach, but the results speak for themselves.
Do you think he's kind of
I think he's very okay with being known as an asshole. In
Yeah,
some
I would say
regards.
so. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
He's very at peace.
he alphaed the shit out of LeBron when they were dapping each other up too? I almost felt like that was an extended. If you've seen this, like it's him hanging out with LeBron. It's like it's almost like MJ's like just fully establishing himself, knowing that the cameras are around. He just keeps like tapping them out. If you're shaking hands and someone is tapping you on the shoulder repeatedly more than once, if you get a double tap or you shake hands and someone flips your hand over and they touch you on the hand,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
you're getting pushed around.
that was the Trump.
Yes.
Remember, he used to do that with foreign dignitaries. He would grab them and pull them
That
in
was
and
such
hit
a
their
better
shoulder.
time.
Yeah,
That was such a simpler time.
Yep, just was like, hey, my foreign policy is all strong handshakes. Like that's the whole thing.
You know, it's on a similar note, something that stuck with me forever. Do you find back taps insincere? Like when you give someone a hug?
Could you give me an example, like Dave and Ed?
So
you
like
stand up for a
obviously
second
like
and show
like
me?
a dude hug, you wouldn't really like probably hug like that long. You maybe just do like the one handshake, like whatever. But like if you hug like a girl and like you just or like there's just maybe you're consoling someone and you give them a back tap.
There.
Yes.
So
I
it's
mean,
not-
my
it's-
my
it's
dad
a-
gives me back taps if I give him a big hug.
Do you find
He'll be like, yeah, buddy. Good
do you
to see
find
ya.
that insincere?
You know?
Like yeah. Like I just picture like Bill Murray's face being like, yeah, all right, buddy. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it's like
someone told me that once and it's been in my head ever since.
I don't know.
I think it can be sincere because you want to like impart just like a little bit more. You're just giving like a little bit more juice at the end. I want you to know. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like they got a fucking steak lodge back there. What are you doing it for? It's not a Heimlich.
Do you hug a lot? Do you hug a lot of people?
Not particularly.
I feel like I'm in a tough spot. Like that picture of me and Ozzy's out there. Like I just
Yeah.
that was a tap, and
No, that was a caressing.
That was a hold.
That was a hold. That was not a tap.
it was a still frame. You guys didn't see the whole interaction.
I mean, that would have to be a 1 in a million capture.
I think it was. But yeah, I mean, I
I'd
don't
like
know.
to pull the security footage of that situation because there's got to be cameras that
I think
can.
I think there's a live. I'll see if there's a live version of that photo.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
He says it was just a tap and not a caress.
It was a dap up.
I don't think I buy it, but you got the benefit of the doubt. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Thank
You know what I fucking did the other night? I started watching at like midnight 2 nights ago. I started watching Making a Murderer again.
Come on.
Why? I don't know.
You're a big repeat.
I mean,
I am.
Do you know that's like a sign of like bad anxiety?
What is?
Really?
If you rewatch stuff like over and over again. It's like I shouldn't say
Bad
it
anxiety.
doesn't mean you have anything. It's just like it's like a small indicator that there's.
I think you're bullshit.
I'd say my situation's worse. Probably indicates that I have
you
worse
just
anxiety.
watch MTV Road
No, I
Girls
just watch.
Challenge.
I just watch nothing because
He refuses to watch new shows. He's like, oh, it's 9 episodes. And I'm like,
well, because it's like there's so many good things and there's so many recommendations. I end up just doing nothing because I don't know what the right decision is.
yeah, well, it's
You're paralyzed.
paralysis
Yes.
by analysis. What
Yeah.
I said to you yesterday. Just pick one.
I mean, dude, I've had.
So what do you watch then? Like football's over. Are you just watching like
You know what I
St.
do a
John's
lot
against
now?
Creighton?
You know what I do a lot now? I kind of just fuck around on YouTube.
Okay, so I do that too, but in the morning. Like I have like a few like shows that I will have on as background noise while I'm working on other stuff. But I like so I don't.
It's not, but then you're working. Eddie's talking about he's primarily.
Yeah,
so you're gonna sit there and watch like a YouTube what?
yeah. I like get into a YouTube algorithm and watch clips of like Rogan or watch clips of like Andrew Schultz's show or
Okay.
you know what I mean, like just shit like that. Or
You an Andrew Schultz guy?
I think he's got some interesting clips. I've never
yeah.
listened to a full episode, but you know what I mean. Like you ever get in those and it's just like
Yeah.
or Steve-O's been on
But
my.
you're getting into it more, is what you're saying.
Yeah, Steve-O's show has been in my mentions lately. So just shit like that.
But I guarantee
it.
I guarantee you, whatever you're watching, it's not as good as the things that you turn your back on because you get intimidated by having too many options.
Correct. But you know what I do like about it is the fact that I don't have to pay as close attention, and I could be okay with that because
That's why I rewatch shows, because my fucking cell phone's sitting there and I'll be like 10 minutes into Instagram reels and
Yeah. Well,
it's like, fuck.
I've done that too, and there are definitely like, if I have trouble falling asleep at night, I'll put on like the same episode of Mad Men that I've seen 100 times, or the same podcast I've listened to 100 times. Like that's what I'll do for that reason, because it's just like kind of white noise at that point, but it like drowns out your own thoughts that are keeping you up. But like you just don't want to.
I think
You're just like, well, what if I should have watched something else?
What are you trying
but
to
you're
watch right
choosing
now?
something else.
What's being forced down your throat?
nothing.
so. That right now there is, I think, 5 or 6 shows that people are like, oh,
Two
you got to
from-
do this.
2 from me.
Yeah. Well, one is Dope Sick.
Yep.
One is
see.
Dave, the Little Dicky Show. One is Righteous Gemstones.
Yep.
One is this new Inventing Anna.
Anna Dalve.
Yeah, the Kanye
I
West
didn't
thing.
like it, and I turned inventing.
Really?
The how far did you get into it?
Well, I fell asleep after like 30 minutes. But
Okay.
so this is what I
Say
did.
no more.
I fell asleep, but the acting is so fucking bad.
It in the first episode, I would agree. It gets better and better and better. As it
I'll
goes.
start it again.
Yeah, but I'm totally with. I almost quit like 15, 20 minutes in.
It's so cheesy, man.
Yes, but that angle of it, which I totally agree with, only lasts for the first episode.
Okay. Good to know.
Yep.
I think it was Feidelberger Cons. One of them had a tweet that was like, it's embarrassing how proud I am of myself when I don't pick up my phone for watching like the whole hour of a show.
That's we've talked about that on Dogwalk.
know.
That's how I gauge if it was really good or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not like I forget about it, because the show is that good,
Yeah.
which is rare.
But I know what you mean where you're like, yeah, nice job. I put down that whole episode. I didn't even look at my
It's like
phone.
an
It's over there on the
accomplishment, which
charger.
is
You're feeling good. Where
gross.
before it would be like, what are you in the basement watching Prison Break on DVD again? You know, it'd be
Yeah.
like, that's your distraction. No, now it's worse. The YouTube stuff, it's probably short form content. I think is easier to, it's like you just put it down.
TikTok-
like
TikTok
chicken
ad.
nuggets versus,
Yeah.
Are you on TikTok?
I have TikTok.
I do not have TikTok.
You know what? Speaking of TikTok, it's about that time for you guys to head down to Chicagoland Chevy. You guys go to ChevyDriveChicago.com and enter a chance to win. What are we winning here?
Probably a Taves
Doesn't
and Kane
say.
jersey.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get a signed jersey.
Yeah.
Entering is easy. Head to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Enter to win. a signed Patrick Kane jersey. And if you're looking to drive what Kane and Taves drive, see your local Chevy dealer today, guys. We talk a lot about Chicago, about Chicagoland Chevy dealers. We talk a lot about ChevyDriveChicago.com. Why is that, Dave?
Because it's the most reliable, the most efficient, and the best, most friendly customer service you can ask for. And we all know that those three things go a long, long way.
Yep. So how would they find a dealer nearest them?
All you got to do is go to ChevyDriveChicago.com, pop in your zip code, and you're good to go. It'll give you all the listings in nearest to you. You can probably, filter it 5, 10, 20 miles wherever you are. ChevyDriveChicago.com. Patrick Kane jersey?
Signed one.
Signed one? That'd look great in a man cave or a woman's cave. We don't, judge around here.
Gender neutral caves.
Yep. It'd look good in a cave of all caves. It would look good in Jesus Christ's tomb before he rose from the dead. That cave.
Allegedly.
And
Allegedly.
Dave is, as a caveman, is an expert on the topic.
That is true. I do get called caveman probably, I would say, a baker's dozen times a day. And
Dude, it would be
as
so
a caveman, like I would love a Patrick Kane jersey for my cave.
It would be so sick if we found an actual like a nice cave for you to live in and live stream in for like 30 days.
Where
But
could we
like
do
an
that?
actual like rock formation.
Yes, exactly. But like habitable. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Habitable cave for you.
What is a
Would you do that?
habitable cave?
Yeah, like,
Like with Wi-Fi and a fridge and like a little
decent
mini bar.
climate.
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Should we
Nothing
just
extreme.
take him down a starved rock and drop him there?
Dude, would you do this?
What?
Because this is a fucking A+ series.
This is like the
To have you live in a cave for
like the Michael
30
Scott where
days.
he's on his like retreat by himself.
Did you ever watch The Office? That's one show I never watched, even though I know I love it.
Yeah.
Dave
You have a
lives
lot of shows
outside
like
of
that,
Starved
too.
Rock for
Yeah.
a weekend. Like goes down there, takes
Starved
the bus
Rock's
down
beautiful.
there.
I
Starved
love
Rock
Starved
is
Rock
good.
is
Starved Rock's
super
nice. Now
underrated.
now
Yeah.
do it nice enough for 60 hours outside.
No. Fuck no.
Could you picture that, dude? And then like
So what do I
People
get?
are
Do I get
walking
to
on the
bring,
trails or whatever, and there's Dave foraging for berries or like taking a dog.
I would get 2 sticks and rub them together, start fires.
dude, that's bigger than part of my take. That's
Let's
a
do it.
series.
Pay
Let's
for
do
all
it,
our
Dave.
salaries.
Dave, let's go do it.
I'll do it, but Ed's got to stay with me for one of the days.
We got to put.
I'll do 24 hours, no problem.
We'll get Sydney to put deer cams everywhere, and like that's how we just
Sydney's
watch.
over there right now.
Can you imagine?
I mean,
Dave like walking around the woods at night.
Well, okay.
Can you
Here's
imagine
the
if he's-
question.
Eddie would call the police on the way out. He'd be like, "There is a man inside Starved Rock
Well,
right now."
I love the idea of Dave having one of his sleepwalking episodes while he's he's out in the wilderness.
That's the last time that happened. It was in New York City,
Right.
so I'm due for another one soon.
Yeah.
Actually, know
you
when
don't
it's going to
wanna-
happen.
You don't want to sleepwalk at Starved Rock. That you'll die. You'll fall off a cliff.
Girl from my high school, she was years older than me.
no.
She passed away falling off Starved Rock. Yeah, I didn't know her.
There's
anything,
like no
but
railings, right? That,
It-
that's
it
why
gets-
that
I mean,
place
there's
it gets
some
crazy,
parts
dude.
there where it is. It
it gets
dangerous.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
out.
for people who are not familiar, we're talking about a park that is approximately 2 hours south of Chicago, hour and a half south of Chicago.
Not far. Yeah.
That is carved from the glaciers. It's you would not think this is real, but there's a fucking river there, and it's like carved out of like glacier movements or something.
It's fucking beautiful. You know what I would love to do in the
fucked
next
up.
coming weeks when it starts getting a little warmer? I'd love to take my dog out there and just fucking walk, me and him. That'd be a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Do it.
But here, I got questions though.
Yeah.
So I am now a licensed hunter, and I now possess a FOID card. Am I allowed to have a gun on me in case there's
Oh
intruders?
yeah, I wouldn't send you out there with no defense.
So I'm allowed to have my shotgun. I'm getting
Yeah.
a shotgun soon.
You probably
Reyna, I think it's called.
I don't know if you'd want a shotgun, but
Why not a shotgun?
I mean, not very conspicuous for a conceal and carry.
yeah.
No, he's saying when he's in his cave. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
and
If
this
you're in
is-
the wilderness.
This
If I
goes
hear
back
like
to being-
footsteps outside of an intruder, like I'll warn them, be like, "Hey, I'm armed," and if they break into my cave, I just fucking
You're gonna kill
Pop
some
'em.
fucking volunteer cleanup crew member, some 66-year-old lady who just retired from the local library to work at Starved Rock. She's gonna take a fucking gunshot wound to the chest from White Sox Dave.
shouldn't have broken in my cave.
This is all still going back to the to my dream scenario of a live feed of White Sox Dave. So now that I repackaged it and he's more into
He's
this idea,
outside.
I'm happy.
But now he has to find a girl there because that's what you really want to see.
Yeah,
Well,
but the thing is, like, remember that commercial back in the day? It's like inventions, whatever, and it's like
Nope.
a caveman, and he's like hitting a rock with
Yes.
or a tire or a wheel with a chisel. Like picturing White Sox Dave chiseling rocks with a massive beard, like that is content. That is fucking beautiful.
So we're
content.
saying leave him down there, not just for a weekend. Like
No,
we'll,
this
we'll
is
just
like
pick him up.
No,
we'll
this
pick
is
him up in
30
2
days.
months.
He doesn't leave.
How far is Starved Rock from downtown Chicago? Like 100 miles?
Like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Maybe?
it's like an hour and a half. To
Yeah, it's not too far. So if I did think you guys were fucking with me, I would just, hitchhike back or something.
Well, that
Stick
would be
my
funny
thumb out
too.
on 80.
We
Ed.
should give him like
Talking about leaving you for a month, and you're saying if we fuck with you, we're leaving you for a month in a park. What much more fucking do you want? Like the batteries don't work on your flashlight? Is that going to trigger you?
A little bit. That would trigger me.
It's also like
what would you allow him to bring with you? We're with him.
there's definitely we got to meet him halfway because you got to. It's a big ask,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he could think about that, but.
Booze is
Maybe
allowed.
and probably 30 days is too much, but like I think 7 days is doable.
Whatever day that you fall on, like quantitative amount, you have to be there for half.
Half. It
You
goes
said-
from 24 hours to half.
You would want him there for half?
You just said meet me halfway.
Why can't Chief?
I don't want him there.
No.
You
Why
would-
would you
no.
want me there?
I would because
You
I
hate
would
me the most.
I
What
would
about Tanny?
coexist. No, he's the last one I'd want there. I'd coexist fine with Chief. Like we know when to shut up and
Yeah,
leave each
yeah.
other alone. For the most part, I would say.
Yeah.
Like if I got annoyed with you or you got annoyed with me, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to fucking catch some bluegills downstream. Like, see you later. See you in a few hours. I'll come back with dinner. Get the fire rolling. Like you, like I would have entertainment with you because I would just fucking needle you and needle you.
But I
and
think
needle
it's
you and
a
needle you.
reverse needle. It's a double needle.
But I know how to needle Ed more than he knows how to needle me. Like I know how to needle him to the point where he's like fucking furious, and I would take full advantage.
I think
What's that show called?
I
Naked?
think-
No, not if you guys are out of this office. There's no way you're getting under his skin.
I think
No, I wouldn't. I would honestly. I would be like, all right, like here's the deal. Like
He's too.
the
I don't
times
want to
that
see you. You don't want to see me.
the times that Ed gets the most angry with you, I feel like you're totally oblivious to the fact that he's angry with you.
Well, that's a great point, Chief.
He is a little passive aggressive. I will say that.
On a different but similar note, something I've always wanted to do too that maybe we could pitch to Barstool and it could happen. Could you imagine if we could sail the Mississippi River, the whole thing?
I
We've
swear
talked about this with Donnie.
I have a
to
guy.
Christ.
Do you?
I set up a guy and everything. Went back to Donnie when Donnie came out for the trip with Tom, and he was like, "Hey, can we go out on Lake Michigan?" And the guy took us out on Lake Michigan. A guy we met at the fucking boat show, and he goes, "You guys ever need anything?" So I hit him up. I go, "Hey, Donnie's in town. He wants to go out on Lake Michigan." Guy brings a fucking paddle pontoon boat. We take Chiefs there. We take it out on a Lake Michigan. We almost fucking
We almost
sink.
lost Tom.
Tom almost died. We almost lost thousands of dollars of equipment. We survived. The guy goes, "Hey, you guys ever need anything, let me know." Donnie goes, "I'm looking to sail from Chicago to fucking down to
New
Mississippi."
York City. I think he was going to go all the way around.
So you
He
could
goes,
go
"Well,"
to Lake Michigan, to the
goes, "We'll
Calsag,
do
to the
it."
Fox River, to the
So I hit up
Kankakee
Donnie.
River.
Yeah, you can do it. You can
Easily.
take Chicago to the Mississippi down to New Orleans. And so I hit up Donnie. I go, "I got the guy," and Donnie goes, "Too late. I already have something planned," and it was Rediscovering America with Dave. So I don't know where we stand on that. It
Yeah.
would be a fun trip if we ever did it, but we should fucking do it.
how long do you think it would take?
14 days.
Not,
I think it is 14 days.
I don't think it would take.
But
as long
I
as
feel
you
like we
think.
need to do it like in like the Bears played at New Orleans, and then like that's like the
That would be fucking awesome.
because I think
Like
that's
you
an
could do it
option.
from Galena or
16
Dubuque
days.
or something. Yeah,
Atlanta.
That's too long.
Atlanta. What are you
16
talking
days
about?
too long.
Way too long. 16
that's
16
like-
days was too long in 1907.
Why'd
That's
you
way
say
too
Atlanta?
long.
Because that's
16
like
days?
just geographically, like you'd have to get out and get a car and shit, but like that's just still an option
For what?
if you sail to Mississippi.
Are you fucking high?
Wait, what? Repeat this.
I'm not high. I'm just saying if you look at NFL
Do you know where
teams,
Atlanta is?
yeah, I'm saying if you look at NFL team days, it's still like that's still one of the best options. Or Houston.
Houston would be way closer than Atlanta, but it's still not close.
But it's still one of the few ones that would be close.
It would have to be New Orleans. It's the only option.
That's the best option by far. I agree.
It's the only option.
And Atlanta popped in my head because we played there last year or 2 years. So we've been thinking about this idea for a while. And I was like, oh, we don't play the Saints, so this would be Atlanta's the best option. So it's also why I said that.
I mean, are you getting out in like the Gulf of Mexico, sailing around Florida, and then up towards Atlanta?
No, I mean you'd go, you just stop in New Orleans and then you go up. Like, it would have
It's
to be
that's like a 10-hour drive.
I know.
That's not close.
I understand that it's not, but it's one like I don't know what you're like looking at me like I have 10 heads, like trying to get me gotcha moment.
I'm not.
I understand.
I'm genuinely confused.
I don't
like
think Ed is
Atlanta.
suggesting we do this either. By the way, I think you're just saying like
I would do
these
it.
are the options.
I
You
would
go to Atlanta.
absolutely-
You
I
would
would do
sail
it.
down and then drive to Atlanta.
I don't care. I don't care if it's Dallas, Houston, whatever. I would do it.
I say I hate when people do that.
Tampa,
so I almost did it.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville would probably be the answer, or Tampa
Tampa would definitely be
by
an
boat
option.
if we stayed on the boat the whole time.
Fuck, the Bears play at Tampa all the time.
What about like a Cardinals series? You just go down a quick little trip, get out St. Louis,
I
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
that's an option too.
hit the tables. Because then you could get like you get a sailboat.
Can we
go
pitch?
sailing?
Can we pitch Penn on like creating a riverboat for us?
What about Miller Lite? They got a sailboat. Get Captain Ron.
No, but I want like the old school like
Like the ferry, like the
with
with
the
like
big
a
wheel.
pirate
on,
ship. Yeah,
No, the big wheel on the back.
like from the 1800s.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like the steamboats.
Steamboat.
Yeah, steamboats.
Steamboat Willie.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, but then there's like tables and stuff.
I
on it.
think the Mississippi River is considered international water, so you can just gamble on it like freely. That
Still
was a joke,
owned-
by
it's
the way.
Still owned by the French. I'm kidding.
That was gonna blow my mind.
But there's a lot of French forts up and down the
Big time.
Mississippi,
Oh, yeah,
and we
it's
can
all-
have a
it's
good
all-
time. I mean,
Dubuque.
the French did a great
Look
job
at-
at building
look at
infrastructure
Dubuque,
at that
Iowa.
time.
Be like a RV
it's just the
trail.
British had more foot power, more soldiers.
Ed, you know how
Well,
much we bought?
I want to be able to play blackjack on a Penn National Gaming boat from Chicago to. We can get on at Aurora. Can they?
Like
There you
Richard
go.
Branson in Virgin Airfare, how he like creates these. So now we're gonna get into kind of like transportation, hospitality type stuff. We're
We
like,
love it.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, like the riverboat, like those are things that are like those are gambling things from the beginning of time. So why can't Penn have one and we'll just sail wherever we want?
So the 2 to 3, obviously East Indiana or East Chicago's in Indiana. That's a Penn property. Aurora's Penn property. There's a Penn property in Joliet, Alton, Illinois, which is probably about an hour and a half north of St. Louis. Penn property.
What are you saying, Dave?
I've been there. It's good.
Well, I mean, obviously you've been there. You're ready.
The Bears do play in Atlanta this year. It's coming year.
And Houston.
Houston's at home.
Houston. Oh, my apologies. So yeah, all right. Then that's why it popped in my head.
Yeah.
So we are you? And you are a seafaring person. There's across the table. I'm looking at it. 3 guys seafaring. Hands up. Anybody?
Well, Danny's out.
Danny's
Oh,
pukey.
I'm all
Danny's
in,
never
yeah.
in.
Puker Dan.
It's true.
Where do you
Tom
guys-
would be all
Tom?
about this. This
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking barefoot for 16 days. This guy's fucking.
Jesus. What does that mean?
I just feel like you
yeah,
just
I mean,
like to
the
go.
more
You
we
know,
talk about it, the more upset I'm going to be if we don't do
a little
it. So I'm
grungy.
just- now my hopes are up that we're going to do this.
It's so long though.
16 days.
So
weeks.
I mean, I
long.
think 16 days is if you're starting at like the boundary waters of.
No, I just looked it up. It's Chicago to New Orleans.
Oh,
It's
really?
okay,
days.
yeah,
I thought it'd be
But that
from
was
Minnesota.
that was a cruise. So maybe they
Yeah,
like,
they're
have-
stopping.
Yeah.
I think if we wanted to make good time,
4
we could-
days.
we could make it. Yeah, we can go quick.
Can you create a reverse suction where we go up to Minnesota?
You
I mean, you just have to have a steam powered or an engine. Ed. You can
Yeah.
go upriver. This is 2022. They've been
Yeah.
going upriver up and
But I
down
wanted
Mississippi
to
for
float.
150
That's what
years.
I'm saying. I wanted
Like a
you-
lazy river.
like-
You want
Yes.
to take a lazy
Like-
river from Chicago
yeah, like,
to
I'm
New
not
Orleans?
trying to just fucking speed dog this thing down. Like I
You
want
That'd
wanna
be
to.
enjoy it.
much
You
more
wanna
difficult.
see the
I'm
sights.
thinking Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Huck Finn.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm not kidding. I'm in.
I can give
I
you
would do
7
it.
days. I can give you 7
We
days.
should have a
At any
race.
point in time.
A rat race.
Let's
Two
just-
teams?
We'll do it on jet skis.
Yeah.
Fuck the boats. We'll just
Yeah.
race down the Mississippi on jet skis.
I think if we create any type of competitive
You just wait
element
to
to
see who
this,
taps out
the
first. Like,
liability goes through the roof. The likelihood of us getting into an
That's
accident
good,
and someone
yeah.
dying is significantly higher if we were trying to beat each other. Dave?
I just got an email from
What?
Hooters Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Rest in
Ooh,
peace.
No longer that.
I know. I'm in.
Okay.
Would you pack your Roman if you?
Yeah, of
If you
course I
want.
would. I mean, you never know.
Is that a...
You might find a couple little river rats running around down their heads. You know.
It is an ad read. Okay, Dave, what would you do to these river rats?
Well, I would court them.
How
I would
many?
court
How
them.
many at a time?
Just one.
Two,
I'm not an
three?
orgy guy.
You're a group sex guy.
On what planet?
Well, just
What were we
there's
talking about
lack
that
of
one time?
opportunity. You don't. Yeah.
Not like I
What were we
got
talking about
out.
that one time?
I got out of there. I got out of there.
No, there was one time, Dave.
Am I missing something?
I thought there was a
I
time,
think
Dave.
you know this story.
Yeah, we've told it. I'm not. We're not. We're not.
Yeah,
going
We're not at liberty to say.
but nothing happened.
All right.
So there's nothing to
Dave,
tell.
Dave being...
I had the opportunity is the point, and I said no. So
You probably said no because you didn't have enough Roman.
What a prude.
Dave,
Exactly.
you're being so discreet. You remind me of a swipe in my wallet.
yeah, that swipe that little packet that looks like a wet nap, basically
Clinically proven.
clinically proven. Ed, if you're going to Pound Town on one of those Mississippi River rats, you know,
Bring the stopwatch because you have Roman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the stopwatch.
yeah, you can be showing off to the fellas how long it took you to come for like the rest of your life. Be like, dude, check out the stopwatch.
Just barefoot Tom, just swiping it on. Clinically proven way to last longer in bed. Go
Yep.
to getroman.com/redline to get your first month of swipes for just $5. When you choose a monthly plan, that's getroman.com/redline.
I'd like to petition Roman to put a billboard in town, and it's just White Sox Dave's face.
Or like an audio billboard where he's going,
Yeah. Oh,
Show me the money.
the first ever audio billboard.
I'll be the face of Roman,
just
but
speakers coming out.
I was born in the wrong decade because I feel like I could have been the Marlboro man for this beautiful, beautiful product. But not allowed to advertise nicotine anymore.
You were born in the wrong age.
Like era?
Like no, I mean like Bronze Age.
Fair.
Well,
Fair.
that's
I
where the
don't know,
caveman
though.
idea came
I
from.
don't know though, because
Pick an age. Which one do you want? Gilded?
but I hate fucking physical labor. That's the only thing.
So
This is like the only this is the only one I could live in, because if I was living in the Stone Ages, like hammering fucking rocks together.
yeah, I read this on audiobook, that book called Empire of the Summer Moon. You heard about that?
Nope.
Okay, so it's about the Comanches, and they said that like Comanche children, like just boys rather, girls have it hard, but Comanche boys, from the time that they're like 4 until the time that they're basically like 16, 17, 18, all they have to do is run around and fuck around. Like they just fuck around, they like wrestle, they have no responsibilities with the tribe, they don't have to do shit. They just run around like chasing buffalo, riding horses, like guys being dudes. I feel like that is where Dave should have lived.
Dave, are you a Comanche at heart?
What
Are you a
happens at
do you
16
have
then?
Comanche spirit?
You
might
get
have to join-
responsibilities and shit?
Did you do
like you have to join
Ancestry.com?
like war parties and shit. Like you have to become like kind of a warrior. But the Comanches were awesome at that. But you could just like it was like, to me, I read that passage and I'm like, I can picture a White Sox, like a young White Sox Dave, where he's just like lighting shit on fire in the woods with his friends. Like that's what you were
You
born.
guys always
no
say that as
school.
if you didn't do it.
No,
I think it's the
You
concept of you just introducing
Have
the
told
woods
the
so
story
casually.
of how you
I
made
agree.
bathtub gin in like the mountains of Massachusetts.
yeah, that wasn't my idea. But
you did it.
and it was a cider. But
Whatever.
Yeah. But no. I mean, definitely.
much
But
fermented
the way
sugar.
that you said it on that radio show was like just lighting shit on fire with your friends.
That's
like,
what we did.
Yeah,
We did
But
it
I
all
just-
the time.
Right, but imagine that was your whole life. Like no school, no responsibility. All your whole life was just running around the woods, lighting shit on fire
You
with
never.
your friends.
You're telling me that you never burned dance with magnifying glasses?
I never did that
All right.
actually.
The crux of us making a thing out of you burning stuff with Fire Dave is that you just said we'll go out to the woods and do it. Like you didn't grow up in a suburb of Chicago. Now I understand there's wooded areas and all that stuff, but just so we're clear, historically why this remains relevant is because of how casual and comfortable you just referenced woods. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So are we okay?
Yeah.
We're at a good spot.
I don't know what show we're doing, but I'm enjoying it.
I don't either. We have not said a word about. And go ahead, subscribe. I meant to say this earlier. Go and subscribe to our YouTube page,
please.
If you're listening to this and you haven't watched it, I would recommend watching it and subscribing to the YouTube page. We might have a drive coming. I don't know if we do or don't. That's why I said we might. I haven't even mentioned anything about that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice I am wearing a wonderful piece of fucking merchandise that's for sale. White Sox Dave. Eddie, can you describe this as we stand up?
We have the 3 building
Face
shirt.
Don't face
the Skyline shirt.
Skyline shirt. Yeah, Skyline shirts. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, and then we have the Skyline shirt, and then we have the Shy beer bottle shirt. So very cool. Very green, very festive. Don't be left with your pud in your hand with no shirt and have to go to fucking Target.
Waking up on Saturday morning and being like, what do we wear for St. Patrick's Day? We're going out. That's a terrible
It
feeling.
happens to me far too often.
And we have other stuff in the store, too. It's just not these 2 hoodies. We got other shirts and other hoodies and stuff. Mm-hmm. So just go to the Barstool Chicago store. Check this shit out.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. Sports are overrated. I like this.
Yeah, this is better because there's absolutely nothing to fucking talk about right now. I mean, Bears...
Yeah, like it's gonna heat up. Like the Bulls about to heat up.
Yeah, it's just the dog days.
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah, we're fine.
This is the worst.
Through this fine.
I wrote a blog like a month ago ranking the months of the year, and
Where'd February come, Dave?
Dead last by far. It's the worst month of the year.
I'm back in on
the
February.
weather fucking sucks. The only redeeming quality about February is that it's the shortest month of the year.
More paychecks, or faster turnaround.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do we get paid Friday or Monday, by the way? Because I need to know. Because we don't get paid on weekends, so...
Well, and here you are ragging 28 days a month.
I would assume that we get paid on Monday the 28th.
But it would hit at midnight on Sunday, and since it's a Saturday, I don't know.
It'll hit on when the clock strikes 12 a.m. on Monday. It'll hit.
So
hey,
Sunday,
check the employee handbook, which I'll remind you have to go to Zenefits and sign your employee handbook. I know no one told you that, but you need to do that.
I saw the emails, and I was intentionally not going to sign it, just to show my grip on everything.
That's exactly what it communicates. Who hasn't signed it yet? Like,
He'll get around to it.
You know how Dave is. He's holding out again. It's lockout season with MLB. You know how Dave is right now. Open the books.
They should.
That's one of my favorite moments.
What was
ever.
it?
The open the books moment.
Was that about Machado? Or what was
it?
It
was about COVID because they couldn't agree on how long the season should be that year.
Right.
And Dave was just screaming.
You've told the story like 12 times.
I know, but it's just one of my favorites, so let me tell it 13. And Dave was just screaming at
this is not even true.
Not screaming, but like very
animated,
emphatically.
Yeah.
You're animated.
And do you understand why, Ed?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I do. Because,
explain it to the people for us.
Because the owners were trying to say that there wasn't money to be made, and they're like, "Fuck you! Open the books. There is money.
Prove
made."
it, right?
Yes, exactly.
And the only team that you could do that with, and they never did open the books, is the Atlanta Braves. And there was a great Fangraphs article saying that the Atlanta Braves, they're kind of like the Packers a little bit.
They are. They're like a publicly owned team.
A little bit, yeah, but not like stocks and giving out shares, fake shares, and all that. What the fuck are you laughing at?
This is awesome. It's funny because you're throwing smoke screens here.
I'm not throwing smoke screens at what?
Like we're talking about the Packers right now.
Did you listen to a word I said?
Yeah,
Continue.
you're talking about the Atlanta Braves and opening the books, and now we're talking about the Packers.
The Atlanta Braves are a publicly owned entity, so
Liberty Media.
Yeah, so they are the only ones that you saw the books, and they made like $100 million last year, whatever the absurd number was. And if the Atlanta Braves are making that much money, a mid-market team, who else is making a fuck ton of money? So it's like, all right, well, shut the fuck up about like dinging these players' percentage points and pro rating and all that. It should be 100%. Get the season going. Let's play some baseball. That's it. I don't understand what's so funny about that.
I would compare it to like the it's actually very similar to the burning stuff and the wood stuff. Like nothing you're saying is wrong. It's just funny the way you're like go burn stuff in the woods with your friends. Like it's funny the way you're like open the books. Like that's what's funny. You're right. They should.
I wasn't
be more
the only one saying that.
I know, but
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
The transparency.
Open the books. Like that's
Like the way only you too. It's however many people were saying it. The way you said it,
And
how
also
you did it
because
is what's funny.
And because you guys were going at it with each other about because you're like, dude, no, it's never going to happen. And then
I knew it was never going to happen,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, they should do that. But
it's very unfortunate that this comes off the heels of that because it seems like
but
there's
I've been
two
calling
lockouts,
this
you know,
for years. I've been calling this on this exact show for years that this is going to be a mess of an off season going back to when we started the show in 2017 because I like forecasting what was going to happen, and I'm not some fucking analytics nerd or anything, but like anybody that was looking at this from just a moderate bird's eye view, you could see that this was going to be a mess, and it's a mess. Well, but I don't know. They're going to end up playing games. Like, I'm not worried about it. Players are going to have to cave because they don't have any leverage, but it just sucks that it just happens to be. Why couldn't this happen in 2016 when the White Sox were going to lose 130 games that year,
Yeah.
Fucking, if I could remember the 94 strike, and I can't because I was too young, I think my disdain for Jerry Reinsdorf would be like at an all-time high right now. All-time high. Now, and you know what? To his defense, I don't think, and this may not be correct, but I don't think that he's the reason that we're in this mess right now. I think it's and I said this 2 weeks ago, I believe. I think it's probably the Brewers, Reds, Twins, maybe Indians, like the smallest of the small market teams that historically do not spend and end up trading their Francisco Lindors. I think it's probably them holding everything up.
Why do you say that?
Because for ownership as a whole to make a proposal to the players union, you need to have 23 out of 30 ownership groups vote one way or the other on a topic. Mm-hmm. So right now the CBT, like every time there's a proposal, you can see the CBT, like in the CBT, the collective bargaining tax, which is you get taxed if you go over this number. So it's kind of like a little soft cap, and that's why I've said the Yankees aren't going to spend any money this winter because they've been up against that number and every year you exceed that number, the penalties get worse and worse. Like you start losing draft picks, blah, blah, blah. So the small market teams, like the ones I just like, they don't want that number going up because they're not going to be able to compete. If right now it's about $215 million, make it a somewhat round number. The big market teams like the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, probably the Cubs and the Ricketts family, they want that number to be like $250 million so they can just go buy all these players and don't have to pay taxes and lose draft picks and slide down draft picks and all that shit. How are the Cleveland Indians supposed to compete with that? So every proposal that's made right now, it's going from like $220 million to the next year $221 million to $222 million, and it's just that's might as well keep it the same at that point because $1 million is nothing, Mm-hmm. So all like if you're looking at it like that, you're saying okay, it's these. I say the number eight teams because that would make it a 22-8,
Yep.
and at that point the 8 wins out. It's going to be those teams that say, fuck that, we don't want that tax going up because we won't be able to compete. When, if you open the books, it would show you, yes, they would. So it's I'm guessing, and I think it's a very reasonable, educated guess at this point, that it's those small market teams, those 8 ownership groups, or owners just as a whole, holding up this entire, the whole 1,200 people in the players union, the other 23 teams. So it's that's what I think's going on right now, and until like I don't know, Steve Cohen or Hal Steinbrenner or the Dodgers ownership group, which Magic Johnson's in that. He's the minority partner though, but Jerry Reinsdorf's of the world, the Ricketts, until they talk these small market teams in, being like, "Yo, shut the fuck up and spend money," we're gonna be in this mess.
They should just do it like hockey.
It'll never in a million years happen. There will never, ever be I don't think in our lifetimes at least, a salary cap for baseball.
There's also a salary floor. That's like the bar.
But that all they say is that if there's a salary floor, all these teams are going to do is spend just enough to get over that floor.
So I think it's a lot of what you're saying is very good points. Like the luxury tax, I think like Dave hits it out of the park. So if you've been following this, stuff, Dave, what Dave just put out there, I think is like dead on balls accurate. The only thing that I would tease out a little bit is like these owners collectively together, the 30 owners, like I do think there's a boys club.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you look at the way this ownership is, like the old owners, the old money owners, like the John Middletons of the world, like even the Twins, like the Twins have been family owned, you know, the Pollards or whatever. Like they've been spending money. Like they're not afraid. Like they're not a big market, but they'll go spend money. But that's old family. They've owned the Twins. They've been around. Now take John Fisher, who buys the fucking Oakland Athletics because, you know, he's the son of the people who founded Gap, and he read Moneyball, and it was like, oh, this is a good investment. So he pays $180 million. John Fisher will never fucking vote for any big market stuff ever in 1,000 years. Because he doesn't have anything to gain or lose or whatever. So you have, to Dave's point, you have these like the newer blood owners, I think, and people who buy in as more of an investment. The Monfort boys out for Colorado is a perfect example. Like you have these guys that do have these votes that are so utterly fucking selfish. But I do think guys like Jerry, and I think guys like people that have been around for a while, like the Steinbrenner family and stuff, that they're willing. They want to. I would imagine they want to get shit done and just move this forward.
Yeah,
but I think
absolutely,
I think there's just like an influence within this ownership that guys like Jerry and the Steinbrenner family, they can't really rein in and corral these people. You know, again, John Middleton's been an owner in fucking MLB for like ever. Like nobody even knows who the fuck the guy is from the Phillies. Like you have these older owners that just don't really have control of this ownership group.
The inmates are running the asylum.
You know,
more or less.
So I think like maybe a month ago you said that they'll miss a few spring training games. Where are you now on that?
Yeah,
the owners are fucked.
The owners?
The owners thought that this would move much faster now. And each day that goes on, I think the players look better.
So what I think is going to happen, today's Wednesday, the 23rd. So it's a 28-day month. I think a week from now, we'll have an agreement and I notice this always happens. A lot of times when like big shit happens, it's after we drop an episode. So we have to wait another week to talk about it, which is annoying. But I'm hoping by this time, 1:30 on Wednesday, March 2nd or 3rd or whatever that is, we have an agreement and teams are ready to report. They might have to stack a couple built-in double headers, but we'll have a 162-game season. I think that the players should be really happy if they do get. I mean, they're absolutely going to get younger players paid more and paid sooner. And I think that there is going to be probably about a $230 to $240 million overage tax. So if those two things happen, I think the players should consider it a win, considering they had no fucking bargaining chips at all, really, other than expanded playoffs. So we'll see.
We'll see. Probably news as soon as we hit publish on this. The news will drop.
Probably.
Okay, quick. Last.
Did I cut out? No, I'm good.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Last thing before we recap or before we close on the show. Just quick. DeMar MVP.
MVP won.
MVP won.
Yep.
He's on a stretch right now that's like not done since MJ. Not even D Rose.
60%, 35
Yeah.
plus. And the way he's doing it's so
like goal
cool. Like
specific,
he
too.
gets so open, people they just buy his fakes. There's something about like basketball when someone's like buying the shot fake and you're just like wide open. It's like, ooh, fuck, that's nice, right?
He just sneezes and scores 30. It's
Yep.
great. It's unbelievable.
And did you guys have a dog in the Wisconsin-Michigan fist fight? The absolutely violent display of.
I watched that whole thing live and I was like, it was. I loved it. I think bad blood is good for sports.
Big time.
And I like if I were the Big Ten commissioner, I would have slapped him on the wrist, said, all right, you get 3 games, guard, you get a game. You can't punch somebody. I understand that, even though
It's a push.
I don't think it's a big fucking deal at all. That is kind of strike 2, strike 1.5 for Juwan Howard, but I think people overreacted to it so fucking much. They were talking like it was a mouse at the palace.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, and it's like I'm
competitors competing.
I'm with you
Yeah.
on that too, and it's like you can obviously take it too far with Bobby Knight, with some of his stuff, but it's better. Like, college basketball is better when you have the big personalities.
I hope to God they play in the Big Ten tournament.
Me too. Like, you need storylines, and like college basketball doesn't have like the marquee names like they used to when guys would stay 3-4 years. So
Let's be honest, Greg Gard, he needs that. A lot of people
Yeah.
probably think Bo Ryan's still a coach.
probably that's a good point. That's
So
a good point.
Good for Greg Gard. Bro.
Yeah.
I watched it live, and I wanted to be the first to tweet the video of it. I'm not gonna lie, I had to Google Wisconsin's basketball coach.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, and I like
He was being a little fucking prick though.
big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hit someone, but like, I would have wanted to hit him.
But like Jawan was being petty though too.
Yeah, he was.
So it was just like it was a petty fest, and then
Yeah.
it got out of control. But it was never really out of control.
No.
It was not Malice at the Palace.
No.
Like I like guys mixing it up, and I
Yeah.
like college sports is driven by the coaches, and you need those personalities. Like I watched that documentary about the SEC when they had Spurrier versus Phil Fulmer. Like that was like the height of that rival. Like you need that in college basketball. And I feel like the Big Ten now, they're in this kind of weird zone where it's really kind of just Izzo is like the dominant name, and you need like that next generation of like iconic guys to step up. And it's so maybe it is Fran, maybe it is Greg Gard and Jawan. Like I'd like to see them hate each other. It's better.
Yeah, definitely. I loved it, but you all know. I say you. I should say we. We all know if they do play in the Big Ten tournament, they're going to be on their best behavior because a bunch of bitches on the internet said it was like fucking anarchy in the Kohl Center. Did they play at the Kohl Center or was that at Michigan? Whatever. But I loved it. So that's my take on it. I don't think that people were calling for fucking Howard to get fired. It's like, are you fucking insane? Are you insane?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I thought his suspension for the year was crazy.
I could.
I
I
rest
can
of the
see
year?
it. Well, rest of the Big Ten regular season.
Yeah, how many games?
5 games. I could see that
Make him,
kinda.
make him take
even
a
though
week
I wouldn't
off.
have done it.
I would have given him a week.
Yeah.
It'd be like you can't go to practice either. That's your week. But
Do you? I had it written down just in case it came up, but I'm going to ask anyways. Do you remember the first DVD you had?
first DVD,
I think it was Gladiator.
It's a good one.
I think it was Gladiator.
I got mine.
Huh.
Mine was Replacements
Okay.
because that was the paperback one. You opened the DVD. There was either plastic case or paperback
Uh-huh.
case. And Replacements was paperback.
do you remember the sets? Like I had lost.
Sets
like
were
the-
great.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones for my dad one year. He's like, God, I'm never watching this shit, but thank you for the set.
I bought a Rocky set like 5 years ago.
Yep.
It's because I couldn't pass it up. I don't got a DVD.
Did you ever watch? Have you taken the plastic off 5? Tommy Gunn.
Oh.
No.
They
include it in the set, and that's a nice
It was
touch.
like a.
but
It was like a not a trifold, but a quad. Or
Yep.
whatever 5 is. It was like a 5-fold.
Quintuple.
So, yeah, quintuple
Yeah.
fold.
I don't know why. I think that's something it's special. DVDs.
Interesting,
Bring,
yeah.
bring them back. All right, that's it for the show.
I do want to give a quick
So-
shout out to Jamal Hill. Ed, you know Jamal Hill? UFC fighter.
Oh,
He's out of Michigan now, but he's got a
yeah.
lot of Chicago roots. I've gotten to know him over the last year and a half pretty well. I would play Call of Duty with him very regularly, like a couple times a week. And I had no idea that I was playing Call of Duty with like a rising star in UFC. I've gotten in the last 3 weeks, especially like way more into UFC. And Jamal Hill all of a sudden is like going to be competing for titles. And I had no idea. He shouted out me, Robbie, and Big Ev and Barstool Sports as a whole after his fight. It was pretty cool.
Jesus.
So I hope he has a shot at the title. He's been all over like TMZ and shit. It's like wild to me that I'm like, holy shit, like I had no idea that I got to know this guy before he's becoming this big star. So I can't wait to follow the rest of his career.
When's the next big fight?
He just had his fight on Saturday, first round knockout, paid out plus 300, I want to say, for the first round knockout, just completely put this dude
You're
to
back
sleep.
on the book?
I'm not back on the book. Not until I close on Friday at this house I bought. But
Can't
paid
wait
out-
for that White Sox party.
You're not allowed there. Don't even think about coming because I'll call the cops on you. I'm not kidding. I will
Seems
call the cops
excessive.
on you. You're on the
I don't
the
think
ban
you would
list
do
for a
that.
reason.
I don't
All
think you would do
gas.
that. No breaks.
DJ, play that shit.